Hello, I'm Livvy Rose, Senior Psychotherapist. Now, in the last episode, I talked to you about how to reduce anxiety with some tips and some exercises. But I thought I'd do a little recap before we go on to talk about a routine and why we need to get routines going. So let's have a look at our anxiety. Take a deep breath in and deep breath out. And we're going to go as 10 as the highest. That's high anxiety. 0 being you don't have any. Take another breath in. Another breath out. Close your eyes just for a moment and ask yourself the question, what number is my anxiety at today? Just make a little note of it. Okay? So I wanted to talk to you about the importance of routine, why routine is imperative at this time. What routine does for us is bring in some familiarity, it avoids depression, it can help move us out of a depressed state, it can calm down frustration and lethargy. There's a lot of reasons why we need to get routine in order, and all of us, including me, have lost my routine or lost some of my routine due to lockdown. A lot of us are used to going out to work, a lot of us are used to dropping kids at school. Lots of the normal routines have gone by the by, so we need to come back and have a good look at what routines we're doing now. Now, joining me is my workmate, my on-air, my on-screen, my bestie mate, Chrissy Lloyd, celebrant, counsellor, and human being. So Chrissy, hi, nice to see you.
And you.
It's been 3 weeks.
I like the way you put human being last.
Says a lot, doesn't it? 3 weeks since I've seen you.
It is. It's too long. I miss you. Hello.
I miss you too. I really miss you. So today we're going to talk about...
Isn't that the same with all of us? We're missing seeing people, aren't we? We're missing seeing our friends, our family, our work colleagues.
This is absolutely true. So today we're going to talk about routine. Are you up for this?
Absolutely.
So I don't know about you, but I had a routine prior to lockdown that I'm not doing. Like, one of the things I did was I would drive to work, an hour's driving, and then I get to work, and then an hour home. So that's out the window. So I'm having to incorporate different things to make a pause in my day. That was quite a good pause. So now I'm going out and taking a breath of fresh air before work. And then after work, I'm going out and taking another breath of fresh air. I might just stick my head out the window. So give me an idea.
I remember your drives very much because we often used to talk and work things out, have a creative moment, didn't we?
Yeah.
I mean, so
yeah.
It's interesting that, you're replacing that now with something else.
Yeah, you're trying to say I've run out of creative moments.
Well, not remotely.
So tell me about your routine. What have you dropped and what have you brought in?
Well, I worked part-time from home anyway. Obviously, I'm now working full-time from home. Like you say, I used to help out with my daughter's school run. Used to be obviously out and about a lot more. Like a lot of people, I'm now. Everything is focused on the home, isn't it? Thank goodness. I feel very, very grateful. I've got a home. I'm having to look after animals. Now, this is something that keeps the routine going, doesn't it? Because you've got to feed them. So, and walk them. I'm walking my dog, which is great. I'm allowed to do that. Feeding my tortoises is a bit more tricky, but I am starting to grow some tortoise food, some seeds, some lettuces and that. So I'm kind of getting into that. And I know a lot of people are doing that, aren't they? Sort of growing things. I'm doing more baking.
I'm sorry. You're doing more baking. I'm so impressed.
What? I'm doing more baking, yeah. And the trouble is, I'm doing more baking, but I'm also doing more eating of the baking. Now, this is not necessarily a good thing. Anyway.
So tell me about any of the routines you've kept to that you followed through into this time when we're in lockdown. Because when we talked briefly, we were talking about the fact you've meditated most of your adult life. Is that true?
I have. I've meditated since I was 17, in fact. this has always been something that I've tried to do every day. I haven't always succeeded. Now in lockdown, it's become even more important. I find it at times of crisis, it's so helpful just to take that moment out during the day. And you know, I've meditated through having children. You can't do it every day. I don't sit upright and do a yoga position or anything like that. It really is just a very simple kind of routine of whenever I can, just taking a moment to focus on my breath.
So in a day, how much time do we need? What, 10 minutes? 15 minutes? What do you reckon? Because people have got busy lives because they're at home. If we're talking about people with kids and families and working at home, and suddenly you're there with your partner or your children and you've got your animals or not, how do you fit this in, and for how long-ish?
Okay, well, you know, in an ideal world, I'd get up and I'd meditate for an hour, okay, and that would be fantastic. But, you know, most of the time, I don't have that time. Even in lockdown, we have, as you say, routines to stick to, work to stick to. I always take, I think, if you can fit in several moments of even 10 minutes here and there.
Okay, so if we go for 10 minutes, if we can go for 10 minutes, could you just run through what we need to do? Should we do it? Should we do it now? Should we have a moment? Should we? We won't do a 10-minute, but we'll do a little brief one. I could probably do with it. Let's go for it. Okay?
Well, you're talking a lot about the breath and anxiety. The breath is like an amazing thing. And obviously in Buddhism, the breath forms a big basis of meditation. And this is a very standard Buddhist meditation. So we just bring our attention to the breath. All our thoughts, our attention, we notice the breath coming into us, and then we notice the breath going out of us. That is basically all we have to do. Okay, there we can focus on our nostrils and the breath going in our nostrils or out, if that makes it easier to keep the breath, to keep that attention on the breath. But all we need to do is notice that it's come into us and notice that it's gone out of us. So it's that attention to our breath.
So what happens if I start to think some thoughts happening? So I notice myself being a bit jumpy in my mind. What do I do at that point? Do I go back to my breathing at this point? Okay.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's going to happen. That's going to happen all the time. You just bring it back. No recriminations or anything like that. No judgment. Just bring it back. Just constantly keep bringing your attention back to the incoming and outgoing of the breath. That's all you need to do. Gradually, it will get easier. You don't have to kind of make any effort to breathe any certain way during this particular exercise. You just breathe. That's all you do. You just breathe and you just be.
Okay, well, even in this just half a moment, I feel a little more relaxed. I noticed that. I feel a bit calmer. And I actually liked your voice. It was great. It was like, oh, I'm being guided into this. It was absolutely a little moment of chill out. So we can do this a couple of times a day. We have the option to do that. So that's something we can put in our routine. Something I put in my routine is I do exercise every morning. I've done it for the last, 20 years, where I just get up, have to have a cup of tea, then I do my exercise, have a stretch, and then I'm going to try and incorporate this meditation, because I could put a few more minutes in. And then it's about how we pace through the day. So one exercise I'm going to invite you to do, and it's a written one, really have a look. What can I control and what can't I control? We can't control what's going out in the bigger world. We can control what we're doing. So that seems really important. So far, in my world, I can do my exercise, I can follow Chris's idea about doing the meditation a couple of times a day. I can have a cup of tea, I can FaceTime Chrissy, hopefully with some ingenious idea, which it's not great, but I would like to feel I'm aiming towards being inspired. And that's what we can be doing. We can be, sorry, I can't even get my words. We can be connecting with our workmates or our friends in a break. So that goes in our routine. So have a think carefully as you write your list, what can I control in my day? At the end of the day, have a look at what you've achieved. This is all about getting back into control, getting back into feeling that you are in charge of your daily life. I hope this has been of use. It's been really lovely to talk to you. It's been great to have Chrissy on board. And do write on the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And we'll see you soon, because the next one we're going to be talking about anger, frustration, and how we deal with that in the home.